Hey, girl. Hey. Ooh, I cracked.
I think you actually hit an actual note that time.
I did. I tried
And
just
it
for
wasn't
you.
flat or sharp or anything.
Yeah, no, just for you. Just for you, I tried.
I think maybe they'll cast you in Funny Girl as the understudy.
Speaking of that, I did a little history check going back to our last episode of You Slay Me, where Joanne Worley was the guest star. Do you know how she got her start?
No, I have no idea.
So she was an understudy for Funny Girl.
No.
On Broadway. Then she had a one-woman show in Greenwich Village, where she was then discovered in 1966 by Merv Griffin and brought onto the Merv Griffin show for like 40 or 50 appearances before she went on to Laugh In.
Wow.
Yes.
So she was like a blessed person.
A blessed person. Like a blessed person.
Of course Merv Griffin loved her. Of course
he did. Of course he did. Dear listeners, let me try this again. Dear listeners, before we continue on with this podcast, we have an announcement.
It's a huge one.
We have our first Patreon. Sharon Jewell, thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. This is your shout out. Shout out to Sharon Jewell.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon. Are we done with this bit?
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
She just canceled her Patreon. Oh boy. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. We'll just make a whole podcast going, thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
No, thank you, Sharon.
No, thank you, Sharon.
No. Thank you, Sharon.
No, thank you, Sharon.
No, thank you, Sharon. Sharon, thank you.
No, but for real, thank you, Sharon.
But yes, really, thank you, Sharon. It's funny how anything can become a bit. Oh, God.
That's the magic of Mims and Maim.
It's the magic. That right there. Some people may call it magic. Others call it magic. Oh, girl. So what's new with you?
Let's see. Since last we talked, not much. So last night at our theater, we did the only women in comedy festival in all of Florida. And so last night was night 2, which was really cool. It was some improv and some games and some stand up. So that was nice. It's always fun to go just to be an audience member. I mean, I realize I perform there a lot, but sometimes it's just fun to watch your friends perform. And they were really good. I thought so. One of the games that they play is called Objection. It's basically like a debate game. Yeah. I thought you would love this one specifically because it was Women's History Month. You know, it's mostly a female audience. Yeah. So the debate topic was tampons versus pads. Oh, God. And it was pretty enlightening for the people there that didn't ever use those. But I wanted to ask you specifically. So tampons versus pads, which one do you think won the audience choice? So based on my personal preference, and I do have a preference, and I'll explain my preference in just a moment, I'm going to say a tampon one. No, it was pads. Well, of course it's pads because they're more comfortable. But no, the reason I think what happened was, I'm going to tell you why I think pads won last night. Okay. So one of our company members, I won't say her name, but you know who I'm talking about because I always call her my improv wife. She had the closing argument. And her closing argument, I looked at my husband and I said, was that pro tampon? Because it was supposed to be, but at the end of it, I was like, I don't think that came out the way it was supposed to because that actually made it sound awful. So I think that was what swayed the audience.
So the reason why I'm Team Tampon has nothing to do with menstruation.
Obviously.
It has everything to do with crafts. So what you can do is you can take a tampon and you can like dye some water, hold the base of it, and like add water, and you can make a little flower out of it, a little cotton flower. I was bored at our old coffee shop, and he had a box of expired tampons back there, and that is what I did. So I found out you could make arts and crafts with tampons.
That is amazing.
Dear listeners, I just described to you the entire movie of Red right there. I'm joking. I watched that last night finally.
The one with Helen Mirren?
No, Red, the new cartoon.
Oh, Turning Red. Oh,
Turning Red. That's why it's never showed up whenever I've Googled it. It's Turning Red, babe. It's Turning Red.
Yeah, because Red is like that was the Helen Mirren and Bruce Willis movie, and then before that was the weird French movie.
Yes, I saw the Helen Mirren Bruce Willis movie. She was good.
Oh, she's always good. She's gonna do good in any, like, you could literally read her, give her a box of suppositories, and you'll be like, that was fascinating.
So in watching Turning Red, it was okay. Like Encanto's better. You know, both have generational drama, and I do not understand what the right is all upset about. I mean, the period discussion is a minute and a half in there.
That's all it takes.
It was a good movie. Like, it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but
honey, you already know now that we are in such a backwards culture that, I mean, especially from your actual employed background, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it is anything now. Everything and anything is just somehow, let's get angry about it, even though this is a thing that every one of your daughters is going to have to go through. Mm-hmm. But we also know that they try to deny that part of their daughters as well.
God.
So it's like, you know, the same as we have to deny our gayness the whole time. The girls have to, like, almost like be shut away, you know.
So we were, if this needs to be removed, I'm going to say this now. If this, what I'm getting ready to say, needs to be removed, I need you to tell me directly after this comment, okay?
Okay, sure.
So I was talking to my friend about trans rights and the trans swimmer and all of that. Mm-hmm. And she said that, well, the right doesn't seem to have that much of a problem with male to female trans people. And I was like, well, you know, there's a key there. They don't naturally have a uterus, so they don't think they can control them. Is that too much? Do I need to take that out?
Absolutely not, because that's completely true.
Like, it's
because remember, that's part of it, right? Like, it's literally the only reason that this became such a problem is all because of stupid, like, false whatever that they built up, right?
Yes.
And I think the best summary for this is, like, them showing those pictures of Katie Ledecky.
Yeah.
And, like, she's literally built exactly the same as the person that they've all been obsessed over.
There's a very interesting NPR segment about this. I think it was 2 years ago, where they interviewed the scientist who basically is coming up with the rules for this. And she's thought about it, or I should say I think they thought about it for many years before they got implemented. And they're still changing based on the drugs available, based on this, based on this, based on this. And they're like, it's not as things change, we learn more and we change them. And that's the way it should be.
So you just said the worst possible words in American society.
Oh,
so
I know.
Learn.
Yeah.
change.
Science, is that one in there now too?
Science.
God bless America.
Let's just be fair.
Well,
I think what I'll say this last thing right about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The part that kills me is that somehow this is a bigger topic, but when that one actual female track star got shut out of all of these things because she would not take things to suppress her body's natural stuff, where was all the outrage there? Where was the how unfair everything is? I'm like, this is an actual like cis woman who just wants to compete, and you're telling her that, oh well, you have to alter your body in order to compete. What?
So, let's move on to Drag Race as we do. Girl. So this week was the
finally
the Rusical. The Moulin Rouge musical. Girl, I replied to one thing I follow on Twitter. Said,
besides dicks.
Said, hey, are y'all preparing any kind of snacks or anything special for this? I said, I'm getting tuberculosis and falling in love with you and McGregor. I don't know about you.
Oh man! So, dear listeners, Mims and we've always had a strange fascination with the Victorian tuberculosis period. Like,
well, yes,
both of us. We used to. So, I have a lot of allergies, and so when we were younger, every time I would develop like a cough or a cold or something like that, Mims would always like ask me if I was gonna die soon.
Well, you are fairly Victorian.
I am, right? Like,
I mean,
I'm like that guy
skin
from
tone
Bridgerton.
aside.
I'm like the guy from Bridgerton. He was in it. He was in it. I'm like him. What's his name?
I've never seen Bridgerton.
The guy that everybody was lusting after.
To me, that one dude from RuPaul's Drag Race Canada was more attractive than him.
I don't think so. I think the guy from Bridgerton's very handsome.
No, he doesn't do it for me. There's something.
I don't think Jeffrey Boyer Chapman's.
Jeffrey Boyer Chapman. There it is. It's the hate.
I don't like him.
The hate makes him sexy.
I don't like him. I don't think he's.
Anyway, what'd you think of this episode?
It's gold. It's gold. That's what I thought. It's gold. It's gold.
God.
Finally, it's gold, but also, oh my God, no one's ever going home.
I know. It is.
So that's how I thought about it. I will say this was, without a doubt, one of the best musicals they have had. This was an excellent musical.
Yes.
And even like the girls that were like not super like in your face and like whatever, the thing the judges are always asking for, even them were still like, they were still competent. Like it was still like, they were still okay. It wasn't like they were terrible. So yeah, I was super into this.
You know the reason this worked, right?
No.
It was RuPaul's songs.
That's why.
Like it wasn't made up things. They were just
made up songs.
No, it was actual songs that they just tooled. Your dogs lose. Yeah, it's fine.
Can you hear my dog? I swear. We get Irene under control, and then my dog starts going crazy.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfect. To be honest with you, whenever I do the little vocalizing together, your dog disappears.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder why he's barking like that, though. It's a Sunday.
Bloody Sunday? Hopefully not.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of Bloody Sunday, did you know we have a Patreon, Maim?
No, I didn't, but Sharon did.
Thank you, Sharon. Yes, she did.
Dear
listeners, if you want to go and thank you, Sharon, and support us, feel free to go to patreon.com/MrMahaffey and throw us some money.
And now we have a special kind of gift that we're offering for becoming patrons.
We do. We will start to review in video, in drag. We will review one episode of a show for you. Doesn't matter the show, just please make sure it's not too racist or weird. And we will or if it is racist and weird, we will sit there and rip it to shreds, and we're okay with that.
That's what we do all the time.
It's true. But we will sit there and we will review it in drag. You hear that, Maim? In drag. I ain't saying full drag. It's going to be quick drag, but we'll do it drag.
I mean, it'd be nice if we did it on like a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Wouldn't that be convenient for you? I'm not staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday for you.
Fine. It's
Or
not.
what-
By the way, since hold on. By the way, since my mother does listen to this, I promise I'm not up till 5 in the morning. Mims is just exaggerating.
It's 2. It's
Well,
definitely
she
2
knows
in the
that part. But
Oh,
still,
okay.
I mean,
Well, what's
there's a
3
big difference
more
between.
hours? What
That's
is
a huge
3
difference
more
when
hours?
a mother's concerned about her child's well-being. That's a
What
big
is
difference.
3 more hours?
I don't know, 180 minutes.
525,600 men. Wait, rent does feel like something they'll sue the hell out of you real fast, doesn't it?
That Jonathan Larson estate, they are cutthroat.
Anyway, dear listeners, I'm ignoring that. Dear listeners, we also have another Pudicasti.
Not a Pudicasti.
A Pudicasti. It's called You Slay Me. It's our Murder, She Wrote podcast. And let me tell you, Murder, She Wrote, this next episode has Robert Goulet in it. And Cesar Romero. It is a mess. And,
Every one of them has been so good.
And what's her name? The French model. Like,
oh, I don't know her name either.
it's a one like she's the Cher of like the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Croquetta is what we'll call her.
Not Croquetta. I actually have a friend named Carla Croquetta.
What? Is she a French model from the 1950s?
No, she's a Cuban girl from Hialeah.
Close
thing.
enough.
Same thing.
And Maim, did you know that tomorrow we're recording on another podcast?
Unfortunately, I did know that, and I'm already not looking forward to it.
Wait, what?
I know. No, I'm fine. I'm actually excited about it. I think it's the 9:30 p.m. drag is like, oh boy.
Okay, girl. Sidebar, dear listeners. I told Maim she needs to be in drag for this. She is taking this to a level that she does not need to. Dear listeners, it's called The Debatable Podcast. It's a couple of straight guys. I am saying...
Hey, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I think we're going to have some drag queens on our show this week.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great.
We can get the grant for diversity.
They look like real women. I accidentally made that singular too. We together look like a real woman.
Our powers combined, we're a real woman.
It's because I'm clean shaven. Maim's got a beard. Maim's got the tits. I'm going to have a turban. It'll be great. But Maim, sidebar before we get into this episode.
I'm going to wear a turban too, by the way. I'm not wearing
That's fine. Please don't put on too much makeup.
I'm not going to. I'm just joking. It's all for the sake of the show. I'm just being funny.
Well, try harder. You ready to get into this episode?
No, I'm not sure. I might need to try harder first.
This is season 2, episode 19. Breathe in. The incredibly elite bona fide blue bud driving club.
I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. And that's Marjorie. Just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the lights went out in Georgia. The lights went out, the lights went out, the lights went out, the lights went out. And that is the night the lights went out in Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a lot of words. Well, we're at Sugarbaker's, girl.
Sugarbaker.
And Charlene is distracted.
So distracted.
Do you know what she's thinking about?
Haven't got a clue.
She's thinking about the newlywed game and
As
the
you do.
repulsive husbands on there that were talking about their wives snoring through their mouths and like just going on and on and on. She does not. How upset would she be if her husband got on there and said this stuff?
I mean, I seem to remember back then, like the newlywed games did seem to be kind of racy, right? Like they used to ask some questions. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I get that. I get what Charlene's saying because it did seem like the wives got embarrassed a lot more than the husbands got embarrassed.
Well,
Maybe
that's because the wives would never say anything wrong because he, we're women. He, we're women.
back
And I
then.
think they purposely got people like that on the show. Like, I couldn't say that in front of them.
I'm embarrassed. Where's that other show, Match Game, so I can make out with that guy?
Richard, what was his name?
Oh, it's
Who's the drunk on there?
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
Like Richard Burton is what kept Cleopatra was on the screen earlier today.
Oh gosh, could you imagine if Richard Burton had been on the panel? That would have been golden.
And then Elizabeth Taylor just comes on and causes a scene and drags him off as
They're
he
both
tries
drunk.
to.
They're
As he,
both so drunk.
so drunk as he tries to sleep with at least 3 of them.
Poor Fanny Flack.
Poor Patty Duke.
I like your southern accent. Ooh. How about I butter those grits?
Hey y'all. Now. Oh wait, Maryjo's late again.
Oh gosh, Maryjo, we're gonna have to fire you soon.
Maryjo, we need you to get your shit together, girl.
If you weren't a partner in this firm, we would fire you.
It's true. Well, we learned that Ted is teaching Quentin how to be materialistic. Like he's already got stocks and bonds and all of this. It's savings accounts.
A metal detector.
Yes, he bought a metal detector to go underneath the bleachers and like look for change.
Am I the only person that thought that was a little creepy? A little boy just crawling under bleachers with a metal detector?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, it is creepy, but in the 80s, you would go to the beach and different places, and there'd be kids with metal detectors doing that all over, because you get them cheap at Radio Shack.
Oh, I was never that fortunate.
Girl, dear listeners, for those of you that do not know what a wondrous place the Radio Shack was,
My dad worked there.
the Shack de Radio, they had this table of junk. Like they were devices and things and random bits that you could buy and like toys and like electronic sets and everything. It was so fun.
It was super fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah, I used to love Radio Shack.
I did too.
That's when my dad thought I was going to be like a computer engineer or something like that because I like computers. And he was like, "This kid's going to be the future."
And then turn out it's just for porn.
It was not.
Now
I was not like that was back then, especially of the two of us. Girl. Miss Mims, just so all y'all know in this audience right here, Miss Mims invented catfishing. Yes, she did. Am I lying?
Did I ever? I never said I was going to meet them. I never
that's
said
true.
that.
You never said no. You never said you were
I was
going to
meet them. I never said I was 16, 15 14 years old and trying to find my way in this world.
Making my way downtown.
And I would just chit chat on the AOL, Time Warner, Comcast, whatever it is now, in the AOL gay chat rooms. I would talk back and forth to what I assume were older people. You didn't know what they looked like back then.
That's true, right? But they did occasionally send you pictures.
They did. Girl, that one baseball bat was not
That was not a selfie.
That was not so. Dear listeners, one time I ended up getting a picture of a dude sitting. He was hot. He was hot, though, was he not? Of a dude sitting on a baseball bat. Like, baseball bat was inappropriately placed. Baseball bat may or may not have disappeared a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Luckily, baseball bat was small side up, but it still had that flat part that, was very uncomfortable to start with. So Ted's teaching Quentin about all this. And Maryjo goes on and on about her piggy bank, which is actually Garfield. And
Which I loved.
The silver dollars fit in really well, but the bank hates Mondays.
Yeah. You know me, back then, remember that? Remember I was
yeah.
like obsessed with Garfield.
Obsessed
Everything Garfield.
Obsessed with the Garf.
Gosh.
Obsessed with the Garf. God.
I think it's because probably I was just channeling. It was almost like that Bruce Willis movie where you see the future self of yourself, and I think I was just I connected with that creature so much, and I was like, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, I see why now, because that's me.
I actually clicked with Heathcliff a little bit more.
That's because you're a dick.
Well, it's because I like the other show, the other. Well, actually, it was Garfield and Friends, I guess. I like the
farm one,
the farm one better. Orson and the
U.S. something or other was called
Acres.
Like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
you did all. It was. I never. I was not. I was actually not a huge fan of the cartoon as much as I was of the comic strips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I think there's just. Have you look at the comic strip now? That's the one that makes John look like he's insane. So there's those are so good.
John Sans Garfield, yes.
Yeah. Oh
yes.
man, I love him. So
yes,
much.
You just take out either either pictures of Garfield or Garfield replying back or anything.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's you.
I know.
Well, speaking of people who need a little help, Suzanne's here with Noelle.
I love that pig so much.
And she's was at the vet, but she's got a little sidebar in there. She sits down and gives Noelle some peanut brittle. You shouldn't feed the pig anything that fatty, though.
I mean, in Noelle's case, I don't think it really applies that much. Yeah.
But Benny Stonestalker, Biddy was there and saw her at the vet.
Yeah.
And she invited
with her cockapoo.
With her cockapoo. She invited Suzanne and Julia to apply to join. It's like whenever you get those credit card things in the mail to apply to join Beaumont Country Club. Did you find out that Suzanne denied Noelle was her pig?
How dare you, Suzanne? That is not how a pet
Just
owner
like
is supposed
Peter
to be.
denied Jesus, Suzanne denied Noelle.
I think Mama Maim just turned off the podcast show.
Or she spit out her coffee while she was listening to it. One of the two.
One or the other just happened. She's like, too far, boys, too far.
What is of the utmost importance, and what is a '90s sitcom? One of the two. Oh. You mean she didn't turn it off when we talked about baseball guy?
I mean, she may have. She may have. I don't know.
Anyway.
She might have fallen asleep. She told me she listens to this while she's laying in bed. Like she listens to this like just really. So she might have been asleep by then.
Okay,
even
good.
at that point.
Or sat right back.
Fingers crossed. She was asleep by then.
Sat right back up. But he did what with that baseball bat?
He go get splitters.
It wasn't wood too. It wasn't aluminum. But he was so hot. Like, he was such a hot looking man. Do you remember that time we were in downtown Raleigh and ran after that jogger?
Oh, you mean the day that my sexuality came to a head for everybody?
peaked and then went away. Yes, that would be it.
Yeah, my little brief the one time my hormones spiked and then they went back away again. Like, oh wow, I really like this one. After that, I don't know.
And then we went to that 2-story Hardee's. God,
that was the fanciest thing ever.
It was. It was right beside a Kimbrel's where you get your furniture.
Right. I forgot about the Kimbrel's.
Yes, girl. Yes. Remember, I live in that city now. I'll pass by it.
I know.
That Hardee's is no longer there. It's no longer with us.
Rest in peace, 2-story Hardee's. Rest in
peace. Rest in peace, 2-story Hardee's.
I miss Hardee's, girl. Lord, I miss Hardee's.
So, Julia does not want to join Beaumont.
Because they're racist and they're sexist.
We aren't quite there yet.
I thought she said the no blacks, no thing at that point.
No, because we have to find out that Perky was there.
That's right.
They used to go all the time with Perky because 2 of her husbands were members, but the membership does not transfer to the women. That's how back-asswards this place is.
That's right.
Then she said, no Jews, no blacks, to which Suzanne says they don't say that, and Julia says they have lawn jockeys.
We grew up in a place where there were lawn jockeys.
Did we?
People had lawn jockeys in Statesville.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant specifically. I'm like, what?
Oh, no, just people in general.
I didn't have a lawn jockey.
No, your family wasn't like that.
No, we weren't.
I mean, yeah.
My mother and grandmother and, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's side of the family, maybe.
Yeah, just leave that on the table.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave that on the table and move on. Just like.
But we did have. I mean, we still have. It's still there. There is. We come from a city with the whole society, country club, the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely, debutantes.
Yep. Remember our friends used to get ready for the cotillions every year.
At my 16th birthday, I had, for some random ass reason, somebody over there. I don't know why. My mother worked with. I don't know if you were one of the friends she worked with to get people invited over, but I know she worked with a couple of my friends to get people invited over. I never really drilled into this. One of them there was randomly dancing with me, told me I should speak in a deeper voice, and asked me if I ever did cotillion. I should have shook her and said, do I look like a Deb? Because I could be a Deb if you need me to be.
I know. When the girls used to talk about cotillion all the time, I used to think about it in those terms because, once again, me and you have our own sexuality issues and sometimes gender issues. And so the girls would talk about it, and I would be like, oh my God, that sounds so fun. And I was not envisioning it from the boys' perspective. I was purely envisioning it from like, you get to get new dresses and you get to do this. I'm like, that sounds amazing.
And you get to be handed off to a boy who's going to take you around and like be with you the entire night.
Yes, please sign me up. Of course, back then, I don't think I would have been that excited about some of those boys. No.
Was there ever any black guys at cotillion? I mean,
boo boo. There was one black family that almost got into society, and society said no. And you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Well, that black family, unfortunately, the father ended up being a little more corrupt than what he should have been.
Right. The Statesville version of the Huxtables. You know exactly who I'm talking about. So, society, they said, we want to be in higher society. Society said no.
Well, Anthony's here.
Hey, Anthony.
And we find out that Suzanne did not get any money back for a Dior suit that she was trying to return.
Lord,
and she said, you're going to march down there and tell them I need that money for milk for my babies. And then they're like, that's a little bit much. Milk for your babies. Okay, jewelry for my children. Jewelry for my children. Suzanne, we find out that Suzanne's going to use that money for the cotillion ball gown.
Right, girl.
What?
Gonna get cute.
So now it's later, and a group of rich white people are at Sugarbakers. The first one's name is Muffy, which is a cliched rich person's name, but it's valid for her because she's a muffin. Her mother was a muffin. Her grandmother was a muffin.
I love that fairy tale. Little Miss Muffin sat on racism.
And then a gay
Girl.
tells this story about that involves a Jewess, a black person.
So many wrong things in his story.
So, I believe he said some high yellow children in there, or something like that.
He did.
Like
It was a lot. Like
it was
his part was it would make like a modern woke person's head literally explode, because if you even thought about everything this man said being on just a network sitcom, they're just like, wait, what?
And like there's the one of them says, well, I hope you understand. I hope the dues won't be a problem for you. And they hand over a little piece of paper like his used car salesman. And Suzanne looks like, no, it's very important because that's where my daughter will come out one day, which is what we call debutantes when they, come into society. And Julia looks at it and it's like, well, my God, for this amount of money, they better burst their hoop on fire onto Nancy Reagan's shoulders. I love that. I feel so with Julia in this episode.
I mean, technically, Julia is essentially how we felt growing up where we grew up. It's like, this stuff is all so stupid.
So Anthony enters, and he's like, Suzanne Noel is a effing mess. She saw some. They are going to take your suit back or give you cash, and the pig smelled some boots and went crazy, and I had to buy 2 pair of them because she destroyed them. And then they're like, Suzanne's like, well, can't you see we're here with these people from Beaumont? Anthony's like, yeah, before my unfortunate incarceration, I was a busboy at Beaumont.
I thought you looked familiar.
And she introduces him as Anthony Bouvier, to which the gay is like, oh, in relation to Jackie. And Anthony says, yes, she's my sister. Goes through a huge little story and says, so please know the common people still care about her. God.
Yeah. Was she? I guess she was still alive at that point.
Oh
too.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
she was with.
still like.
She'd just become an Onassis, I believe, because that happened way later.
Yeah.
Was Diana still alive at this point?
Yes.
Probably. Yes, it was still 90s.
Because she died in the 90s.
Yeah,
she died in the 90s. So.
Goodbye, Norma G, Diana, whatever, however that song goes.
English Rose. It was
English Rose. Goodbye, English Rose. I'm going to go see him.
Are you?
I am, yes. My friend got tickets for her birthday, and she's going to take me to see him for my birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
In Greensboro, which he loves the Greensboro Coliseum.
Oh yeah, it's great for concerts.
Like every time he comes, he does not go to Charlotte, does not go to Raleigh. He goes to Greensboro.
A lot of artists, they really like that Coliseum. Like, I think that's where Janet Jackson goes every time.
Probably.
Like, they just like it a lot. I don't know why they like it so much, but
probably
I mean,
acoustics or
I guess so. But I feel like,
knows?
So is there? Because I don't know this about Raleigh, right? Does Raleigh have a? Do they have a place that's like I guess where they do the hockey? Is that where other concerts happen like that?
Yeah, that's where we went to see Lady Gaga, but it's huge.
Yeah,
right? Because that's where NC State does their basketball too. So you
like have to super fill it like with like
yes.
ridiculous amounts of people.
We do have like concert halls downtown. We have like the Bloomingthal
I've been there.
Yeah, like we've got that, but it's not.
Oh, the Bloomingthal is so nice.
Is Bloomingthal in Raleigh or is that the one in Charlotte?
No, Bloomingthal's in Raleigh.
Yeah, that's where the symphony and everything play. And like but that's more of like a symphony
to do.
Yes, not like a Janet Jackson. Now Janet Jackson, her retirement tour, which she decides to just sort of come out, sing, and go back in.
I can't wait. You know, I can't wait. I'm very excited about that.
But if she gets her nose done too many more times, she won't be able to sing anymore.
I don't think she's gonna have any more work done now that she's a mother. It seems like her whole life is more focused on the child.
Okay. What? I just said okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I not just say okay?
I know that she's not your favorite Jackson, Miss Latoya. I know that.
Look,
We ain't gonna be having no Latoya Jackson farewell tour of her 4 songs.
What's it gonna be? Her on RuPaul's Drag Race?
Right?
Just dying on stage.
Like,
No, look.
here in her farewell performance.
I have
gracing
no problem. I have no problem with Janet Jackson. I like some of Janet Jackson's stuff. I have a problem with Michael Jackson and all of that. That is my problem with them.
Right.
But I will still listen to Janet. I will now listen to Michael Jackson since he's dead.
I've never really, I liked Michael Jackson in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I liked him in the early 90s, when he did
Scream was a fucking
right,
bomb.
Scream. What was the other one? Remember the Time.
Yeah.
Stuff. But after that, I mean, even when I was.
What about You Are Not Alone?
No.
I am here with you.
See, that's the thing. I liked his early stuff. I didn't really like his 90s stuff and his early 2000 stuff too. I was just like,
yeah.
What was that one song he did? You rock my world, you never did. I was like, this is what is this? This is not a radio.
Oh, Black and
single.
White. Oh, that is a bop. It's black, it's white. Just for the.
I hate that song.
But
that song haunted
video,
me so much. The video is why I hate that song, because it haunted me.
Did it really?
Because people used to do that all the time. They're like, you're like a person from that video. That was a thing. So
God, if only we were like a richer area. Oh, you look like you should be in with those ads for UCB.
Right? Literally.
You'd be like, yes, queen.
Yes,
Where's my contract?
Please. I know that I look very unique. Give me money for it. I'd rather have that than be lambasted. Thank you.
And now she's using it for drag.
There you go.
That's right.
I'm an exotic princess with a beard.
I mean, you're at least half of one of those things.
I'm something.
You're well, it's a little later. And they're talking about country clubs and everything. And Maryjo's like, well, we had a country club too. They had to take over whatever it was, a warehouse, something. And
some kind of weird sounding play, like a Hades or something like that.
Yeah,
something
and
weird.
They put the putting green over the parking lot, and then she was like, Suzanne's like, well, were you a Deb? And she's like, no, I absolutely was not a Deb, but there was this dumb jock who went out there and got sprayed all over by the bidet. And here, dear listeners, is where I say, if you do not have a bidet, you should buy one. They are amazing.
I love that you were like, I thought you were going to say something more profound.
No.
Not just, you should buy one.
I mean, right? Do you not agree?
Oh, I love mine. It is
right?
It's my best friend. We talk. We have conversations.
Well, I feel slighted now. That's wonderful.
It's like going to the spa and having a lady kind of, just get things done.
Now it's going to be, dear listeners, this is where I announce my retirement. Sharon, I'm sorry. It's now going to be Bidet and Maim. It's going to be a really one-sided conversation.
I don't know. She's pretty vocal.
But can you understand her?
She does blow a lot of hot air, so
Do you have one of the expensive bidets that dries your tushy afterwards?
Have you met my husband?
Oh yeah. I wanted to do that, but I don't have a plug nearby to do that, or hot water going near there. So
have you met my husband? We whatever was necessary to make it happen. We made
Jesus. I'm going to need you to put a plug right. Sir, that's against code. I don't care about the code. I care about my butt.
That's it. I need it clean.
And then, so Charlene starts talking about Debs. And Charlene's like, well, you were only a Deb well, we didn't really have coming out or anything, but you were a Deb if you weren't a car hop at the A&W. And Suzanne's like, well, I hardly think that is coming to society. And Charlie's like, well, I don't know. I was a car hop at A&W. Then Anthony does a little racism and sexism about the girls and it's the penicillin, and I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah.
And Julia is like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is not me.
I feel like Julia's had this is like the hardest episode for Julia this week.
Yes.
She's already like, she's sick of listening to everybody's stories.
Uh-huh.
She's sick of dealing with these country club people. She's sick of Suzanne doing what she's doing. She's just over it all.
It's Suzanne's like, I'll pay the dues using my Atlantic City money. It's almost like God wanted me to do this with that Atlantic City money.
Shouldn't that have already gone to the IRS?
Speaking of the Atlantic City money, girl, I'm letting you and our dear listeners know, not this Monday, but next Monday, I'm going to be in Cherokee. And if you want to record from Cherokee, we can.
Thank you for that.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I can't do Sunday. We'll have to do that Monday
I
regardless.
was like, what just happened?
Well, look, I apologize for staying in the podcast because I don't have the time.
That's what you're supposed to say. Sidebar, remember? Sidebar. So,
Sidebar.
Too late. It's too late.
Okay,
Too
that's
late. The
fine.
bar's closed. It's too late.
So now we're at Beaumont.
Bye, Mom.
And we find out that Julia was invited in to Beaumont.
Even though they don't normally extend that to widows.
To widows. And it's only Julia at Beaumont right now. Suzanne didn't make the cut. I'm sorry. You did not make the cut.
Thank you, Heidi Bloom.
Did you ever watch Making the Cut?
Oh yeah.
Did you like Making the Cut?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it was the same as
Twice
the
they
other.
picked people who I know. The second time I liked who that first time it should have been the German woman.
Yeah. No, I was into it.
should've-
Well, obviously, as soon as episode 1 they bring out Naomi Campbell, you know me, I was like, I'm in.
Yes. And then the second time it's not Naomi because she didn't want to deal with it anymore. Because just like in The Face, they didn't choose the person that she thought should win, so she was done. Like, dear listeners, I don't know if you can find anywhere. There was a makeup competition, or not a makeup competition, but a runway supermodel competition called The Face.
It was everything.
It was everything. It was Naomi Campbell's The Face. Like, it was.
Yes. It was her show.
And then her person lost, and The Face never made another season.
I love her so much.
I know.
I know she's problematic. I just love her so much.
Is she really, though?
I mean, she did really actually like assault people. Like, she did actually do that. So I mean, it's not
One
like
was
she
a cop.
I mean, like I said, she did actually assault people. So it's like we can say what we want about things, but at the end of the day, she did actually assault people.
So the people from Beaumont are asking Julia not to take it personal. And she's like, oh, I do.
See, this is my favorite, right? This is that moment where we know what's about to come, and so you're just sitting there like, "Oh, this feels nice. I can't wait for this moment."
And then she's just explaining. They say, "Well, she's not Beaumont," and Julia's like, "Well, no, you got it wrong. She is everything Beaumont. This was brought up to be, the old South and this and this and this, and I'm just not as impressed by you as she is, and y'all are no more relevant than wire corsets to me."
That's right, girl. We don't use wire no more. We use hard plastic.
And then she was like, "Oh Lord." And she was like, it takes 6 or 7 generations to make someone like you, and quite frankly, I don't have the time.
Me neither, girl.
And then she leaves by saying it would be a violation because your rules say no big mouth broads, and you almost let one slip through.
Ooh. Mic drop.
So we're back at Sugar Baker's. Suzanne's very excited because she knows Julia went over there. And Julia says basically she was reading the bylaws and she got very upset with them and yelled at all of them. And they were ripped up. Their applications were ripped up.
So sad having to lie to your sister like that.
Charlene says, believe me, it happened. I was there. Yes. I mean, I was here.
I love Julia's face at that point. She looked at her like, what?
Suzanne is very upset and leaves.
Yeah.
Well, Betty shows up and Sissy.
Hey, Betty.
At Suzanne's house.
Girl? How you doing, girl?
And they're like, I hope there's no hard feelings. And Suzanne's like, well, Julia's my sister. And, there's no hard feelings with that. She did what she had to do. And Betty was like, well, she turned us down. We turned you down, and then she turned us down because she supports you. And then immediately, Suzanne goes to Sugar Baker's and is like, well, Betty and Sissy stopped by. Well, first of all, Julia's in this matronly flannel.
So matronly. I love it.
Like, it's got the white lace and the long black nightgown.
I'm not gonna lie, I love it.
Oh, it's ugly, but it's comfortable.
It's ugly, but it's also drama. I just love it.
Kind of. So she tells them that Betty and Sissy stopped by, and Suzanne asks Julia for forgiveness. So Julia is going to make her some banana bread with peanut butter. And at Sugar Baker's, it's country club that's not so stuffy. A girl wouldn't feel comfy bringing her pig here.
Mm.
Do 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 do. So, Maim, did you find yourself in Miss Georgia World?
I really enjoyed the outfit Suzanne wore at the very end when she went to go see Julia. That like tealish sort of like seafoam greenish. I like that. I thought it looked nice on her.
That was my second favorite one. My favorite one was actually at the beginning of the episode, Suzanne, in the blue, a fitted blouse with the huge bow and the like black pencil skirt. She looked great in that. But by the end, she was not corseted anymore, so more power to her. Now, Maim, the important question here. Did you get accepted to Beaumont?
I think it got lost in the mail.
Even though I'm not Jewish, I probably look a little too Jewish for them to let me in, so I don't think
I think they would have let you in at first, and then as you got older, they would have done background checks because they would have been like,
Catholic.
Like, oh boy, you are not Baptist? You are definitely, no, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yup.
Maybe you're a Catholic double agent, like that guy's relative.
Did you enjoy this episode, girl?
Oh, I love, anything that lampoons the South, I'm all for, right? Like anything that talks about just how ridiculous Southern culture is, yes, I'm down.
I thought it started off real good. The ending kind of went too fast. Like it was
I wish that, the only thing that I wish, right? Well, you know me, I'll say if on like the 1 to 10 meter, this was like a 7. It wasn't like a grand slam. Mm-hmm. I really do wish that we had gotten some more ridiculousness from the Beaumont people, because like they were like the times that they talked, I was just like, man, can we just have a series about these awful people, because they seem like a hoot to watch.
So I would have rewritten it a little bit because I'm better at writing than Linda Blower Thompson.
Exactly.
I would have had Suzanne find out what was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just like show up as like not the point where Julia is yelling at them, but just before, when they're offering it to Julia.
Mm-hmm.
And then she comes in and goes, well, where's mine, or something like that. Oh man, we didn't want to invite you. And then Julia goes off.
I think that the only reason it couldn't have been like that is that would have been too close to the Nights Went Out in Georgia kind of conversation.
Yeah, true.
You know, like
True.
Suzanne sort of like overhearing what's going on. I liked how they did this. I just wish, I don't know, it's almost like they took some of the steam out of like Julia's like sermonettes, you know, like like she still delivers them, but they're not quite like they were that first season. That first season, like it would be like fire and brimstone out of her mouth.
I want to thank you, Ray Dawn.
Right, you know, think about that. Like Ray
Well, they're
Dawn
coming back.
No, I know, but like you could tell in this season that they're kind of tooling around with it, right? Because like half the time they're not even there, and the other half they're kind of like, well, she kind of told them off, you know, but like she didn't put the fear of God in them.
Well, babe, why don't you tell our dear listener says I'm yawning?
You're yawning at 5:15 in the afternoon. Lord have mercy.
I didn't get my nap today. I need to go. It's about time for me to rest my eyes before going to bed.
Somebody go get Mr. Mims and tell him to get this girl in the bed. She has got to get her beauty sleep. She's not going to make it to midnight. She ain't going to be able to see who wins Best Picture at the Oscars because she's going to be asleep.
I was already intended to be asleep for that. I don't care about this year. There is nothing.
Everybody's saying that.
How many of the movies have you seen? Have you seen Encanto?
Nope. Shut up. Because I keep having stuff to do on the weekend, which is what I would normally be watching these things. And so it's like,
which one of the movies have you seen?
I saw Dune.
Oh, that one. You could have watched Encanto thrice.
I like Dune. I mean, I'm a giant sci-fi nerd, but I enjoyed Dune a lot.
Okay.
I saw.
Did you see Children of the Lesser God?
What?
There's the Marley Matlin movie this year about the girl who makes the song with her deaf parents.
Oh, there's another deaf movie like that.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
Interesting.
It's like the one that's probably gonna win Best Picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because this actually, I'm glad you said that because I read an article yesterday that I was because I obviously didn't know much about the movie. I was very confused about it. It was talking about like one of the Best Picture nominees this year being made into a stage musical, and that must be the one they were talking about. Yeah. So yeah, no, I haven't seen a lot this year. But the thing is,
that's gonna be Love, Simon. They're gonna make that into a musical.
Here's, God, sorry. I just threw up a little bit.
It's so deranged. It's such a deranged plot.
I'm saying this. I can't.
Anyway, people love it.
No, I know. It's funny though because in the past I used to always joke about. Well, I haven't seen a lot of them because they haven't been released yet. Now they're all out on streaming services, and somehow I haven't watched almost any of them.
People don't know how well that one movie I was just talking about did because it's on Apple Plus, and like. Who people got Ted Lasso, then they left Apple Plus. So what?
They have some new show that almost hooked me into getting it finally. It's with Tiffany Haddish playing a detective of some kind.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I mean, you know how I am about anything involving the word detective.
Yes. And Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah,
I love Tiffany Haddish.
So those two things, I was like, I don't know, I might pay that $5.99. I might.
Are you going to?
Actually, no, I actually might because now that I no longer have to pay for Funimation and Crunchyroll together, that has freed up one of my memberships.
Why don't you have to pay for them together?
You didn't know?
No, what?
Funimation bought Crunchyroll.
So are they just putting it all on Crunchyroll or putting it all on Funimation?
They're putting it all on Crunchyroll. Because Crunchyroll has the larger base.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
So yeah. So they're, I can't believe you didn't get it.
That's why Ranking of Kings is on Crunchyroll. That makes sense because it was Funimation.
You didn't get any of the, they sent out a bunch of emails about it.
Mr. Mims does.
He has the membership. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Funimation bought Crunchyroll, but because Crunchyroll is the larger platform, they haven't moved everything over yet, but they're transitioning everything over. So yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I can actually get my Apple TV Plus now because that will take the place of that.
Okay. Well, girl, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, what you are, who you do?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
So I'm your Auntie Maim, your favorite relation. There you go. You can find me online at auntie.maim, that's MAIM, on Facebook and Instagram. On Twitter, you can find me at the Maim Ministry. If you are in real life visiting South Florida, right?
Ooh, Florida.
Yeah, Florida. South Florida, which is a different, different country. If you're in South Florida, you can catch me performing improv at the the Villain Theater, which is in Miami, located at villaintheater.com. On Tuesdays, I host a stand-up show at Lit in Wilton Manors, which is a neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale.
LIT.
Yep, every Tuesday night at 9. And then on Thursday nights, if you are in Miami Beach vacationing, I host Amazing Colossal Karaoke. Yeah, or you're just there, right, for a business trip or something like that, or
or you live there.
Hostage negotiations, or you live there. Nope, none of those people are going to be on here listening to this because they speak Russian and Spanish. They're not going to be listening to us.
Nah.
Russian, Spanish, Hebrew. None of those. We aren't speaking any those three languages, which are the official languages of Miami Beach. But anyway, if you're there on Thursday nights, I host Amazing Colossal Karaoke at a little dive bar called Kill Your Idol. So yes. So if you're around, you can come hang out, and you can find me on socials, and that's where I post the shows and stuff like that. So you can find out about them. Tell them about where they can find you. Mims.
I'm the Divine Miss Mims. You can't find me very much of anywhere. I'm on Twitter at Divine Miss Mims. You can, however, find this podcast at Baking Sugar Pot on Twitter. You can find our Patreon at patreon.com. Merrick says, Mims a Maim. Thanks, Sharon.
You're
not going to do it again?
Thank you,
Sharon.
So much, Sharon. Thank you,
Sharon.
For the love of all things, thank you, Sharon.
Thank
and
you, Sharon.
For our listeners that would like to do just like our amazing new friend, Sharon,
Thank you, Sharon.
You can go visit our patreon.com/Mims and Maim. And if you do what Sharon did and do a monthly Patreon, we will do a special whatever we talked about earlier in the episode.
Yeah, a special episode. You pick the episode, us and Drag review it.
Yep.
Real simple, babe. Keep it simple. That's why I do this part. All right. We also have another podcast, babe. Babe, we also have another podcast. It's called You Slay Me. It's a Murder, She Wrote podcast. You can find that at You Slay Me Pod. Yeah, Maim. See how that went?
I do.
Do you have anything else to add this evening?
I don't think so.
Well, why don't you say goodnight, Maim?
Good night, Maim.
Hold on. I got to find the button. All right. Bye, y'all.